culture, music and numbers, topic, and then presentation and then
Hello. All right. Good evening, everyone. Namaskar and Jai Shri Krishna. How are you all doing today? All geared up for the fall semester? No. I heard no. Anyways, I welcome you all to this glorious event and wish you a very happy Janmashtami. I'm Shomun Andishubo from Dhaka, Bangladesh, PhD student in Materials Engineering Department. And it's really amazing how we have all gathered together on such auspicious day, each belonging to different place, city, and country. And I'd especially like to thank Hindu Yuga for arranging such wonderful events. So Janmashtami, it's a Hindu festival, is about celebrating the birth of the god Krishna, and is celebrated with great devotion and enthusiasm in Indian subcontinent and all over the world. According to the Hindu calendar, this religious festival is celebrated on the Ashtami, that is the 8th day of the dark fortnight of the month of Bhadrapada and Shravan in northern and southern India respectively. And so Sri Krishna is considered as one of the most powerful human incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He was born around 5,200 years ago in Mathura. The sole objective of Sri Krishna's birth was to free the earth from evil. He played an important role in Mahabharata and propagated the theory of Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga, which are expounded in Bhagavad Gita. We have for you some beautiful performances by some young talents, and then following will be the mesmerizing spiritual talk by Swami Sarwapriyanand on the topic Message of Gita. And last but not the least, we'll have our traditional Janmashtami Jhula festival, Jhula ritual, and all of you can form a queue over here and swing the Jhula at the end of the event. First of all, we will start off with the puja ceremony offered to Lord Krishna. I'd like to request Shivaram Gopal and Tarutal Mandal to conduct the puja ceremony. So Shivaram and Tarutal, if you could join the podium, please.
So puja comes in very many varieties, and for Janmashtami at Purdue right now we are going to do the Shoshopachara puja. It is one of the shortened versions of the puja that is done, and it has 16 steps. And today we'll be doing that puja for Bala Krishna, that is the young boy form of Krishna. Let's start with Achamanam. So just take water, say Achyutaya Namaha, and pour it. Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. We'll do Prarthana first. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum, Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam, Prasannavadanam Dhyayet, Sarva Vignopashantaye. Gantanadaha, ring the bell. Agamartantu Devanam, Gamanartantu Rakshasam, Kurve Gantaravam Tatra, Devatahvana Lanchanam. Now we'll do the Asana Vidhi. Just take some water and put it on the jhula. Om Prithvi Tvayadata Loka Devi Tvam Vishnunadata Tvam Chadaraya Mam Devi Pavitram Kuruchasanam. Then we do the Pranayama. Om Pranavasya Rishi Brahma Paramatma Devata Devi Gayatri Chandraha Pranayame Viniyogaha Om Bhuhu Om Bhuvaha Om Suvaha Om Mahaha Om Janaha, Om Satyam, Om Tatsavitarvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Then we'll do the Sankalpa. So this Sankalpa is for all of us to gain the benefits of doing this puja. So just keep your hands in me. Mamo Bharata Samasta Durita Kshay Dwara Shri Parameshwara Prithirtam Asmakam Sahakutumbanam Kshemasthirya Virya Vijaya Dhairya Abhaya Ayur Arogya Aishwarya Abhivrityartam Dharmartha Kama Moksha Chaturvida Pala Purushartha Siddhyartam Shri Balakrishna Devata Prasada Siddhyartam Yavat Dhyana Ahvanadi Shodashopachara Pujam Karishye. Let's start with the Kalash Archana. Om Kalashasya Mukhe Vishnu Kante Rudramashutaha Mule Tattasthito Brahma Madhye Matruganashutaha. Pour some water into the Kalasha. Little bit of water. Gange Chayamune Devi Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. I will do the Shankha Puja. So just pour water into the conch. Om Bhurvo Swaha Tatsavitarvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. We can pour the water from the Shankha into the Kalasha. Om Shankha Madhyasthitam Toyam Shankha Madhyasthitam Toyam Brahmatam Keshavopari Angalagnam Maya Manushyanam Brahma Hatyoparam Jahet Panchajanyaya Vidmahe Vishnu Priyaya Dhimahi Tanna Shankha Prachodayat. Now we'll move on to the Atma Puja. Om Deho Devadayam Prokto Jivo Deva Sanatanaha Tyajet Ajnana Nirmalyam Soham Bhavena Pujayet. Now we'll do the Vigna Niharanam mantra and we'll pray to Lord Ganesha. So just think of Lord Ganesha and repeat. Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvan Nodebesri Dasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha Ata Nirvignata Siddhyartam Shri Mahaganapati Prarthanam Karishye. We'll do the Dhyanam for Krishna. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Govindam Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay, now we will start the puja. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha Dhyayami. Om Sahasra Shirishah Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Ritva Shri Krishnaya Shri Balakrishnaya Namaha Avahayami. Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yad Bhutam Yad Chabhavyam Utamritatvasyeeshanaha Yadannena Tirohati Shri Balakrishnaya Namaha Asanam Kalpayami. Yatavanasya Mahima Atodhyayagascha Purusha Pado Osya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Divi Shri Balakrishnaya Namaha Padayoho Padyam Samarpayami Kripa Durga Uday Purushaha Pado Osyeha Bhavat Punaha Tato Vishwavyakramat Shashana Nashane Abhi. Om Shri Balakrishnaya Namaha Hasteshu Adhyam Samarpayami. Om Tasmaad Yajnat Sarvabhut Tasmaad Virada Jayata Virajo Adipurushaha Sajato Atyarichata Paschat Bhumi Mato Puraha. Shri Balakrishnaya Namaha Mukhe Achamaniyam Samarpayami Snapayami. Just take water and put on Shri Krishna. Sprinkle water. Om Abhohishtama Yogoha Sthanam Urjedaratana Maherana Yachakshushe योगशिवतमोरसः तस्य भाजयते हनः शतीरिव मातरः तस्मा अरङ्गमामभो यस्य क्षया यजिन्वत आपो जनयता जनः। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। स्नपयामि यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देवा यज्ञमतन्वता वसन्तो अस्यासीदाज्यन् ग्रीष्म इत्म शरदविः। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। शुद्धोदक स्नानं समर्पयामि। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। स्नानानङ्गम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। सप्तास्यासन् परिदयः त्रिसप्त समिदकृताः देवा यज्ञं तन्वानाः अवग्नं पुरुषं पशुं। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। वस्त्रायुग्मार्थम् अक्षतान् समर्पयामि। वस्त्रायुग्मार्थम् अक्षतान् समर्पयामि। तं यज्ञं बर्हिषि प्रोक्षन् पुरुषं जातमग्रतः तेन देवा अयजन्त साध्या ऋषयश्च ये उपवीतार्थम् अक्षतान् समर्पयामि। ॐ हिरण्यपात्रं मधो पूर्वं ददाति मधव्यो सानीति एकदा ब्रह्मणा उपहरति एकदेव यजमानस् आयुस्तेजो ददाति। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। आभरणं समर्पयामि। तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वभूतः समृतं पृषदाज्यं पशोगस्तागश्चक्रे वायव्यान् आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्च ये। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। दिव्य परिमलगन्धान् समर्पयामि। तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वभूतः ऋचस्सामानि जग्निरे छन्दागुंसि जग्निरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मात् जायत। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। अक्षतान् समर्पयामि। तस्मात् यक्षा सर्वभूतः ये केचो भयादतः गावो वजग्निरे तस्मात् जाता अजावयः। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। So now we'll do the Atma Puja. So we'll chant different names of Krishna. So in your mind you can also chant those names, and he will do the puja here. Okay. Put one clock. Yeah, one clock. Om Keshavaya Namaha, Narayanaaya Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Madhusudanaya Namaha, Om Trivikramaya Namaha, Om Vamanaya Namaha, Om Sridharaya Namaha, Om Rishikeshaya Namaha, Om Padmanabhaya Namaha, Om Damodaraya Namaha, Om Sankarshanaya Namaha, Om Vasudevaya Namaha, Om Pradyumnaya Namaha, Om Aniruddhaya Namaha, Om Purushottamaya Namaha, Om Adhokshajaya Namaha, Om Narasimhaya Namaha, Om Achyutaya Namaha, Om Janardanaya Namaha, Om Upendraya Namaha, Om Haraye Namaha, Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. यत्पुरुषं व्यदधुः कतिधा व्यकल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य कौ बाहु काहुरुह पादा उच्येत। धूपार्थम् अक्षरान् समर्पयामि। ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यकृतः ऊरु तदस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागुं शूद्रो अजायत। ॐ दीपार्थम् अक्षतान् समर्पयामि। Also, now we'll do the Naivedyam. Om take water, just sprinkle a little water on this. Om Bhurvuvasvaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। प्रातःकाले नैवेद्यं सायंकाले नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि। ॐ प्राणाय स्वाहा। ॐ प्राणाय स्वाहा, मपानाय स्वाहा, ॐ व्यानाय स्वाहा, ॐ उदानाय स्वाहा, ॐ समानाय स्वाहा, ॐ ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा। ॐ चन्द्रमामनसो जातः चक्षुः सूर्यो अजायत मुखादिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणाद् वायुरजायत। ॐ महानैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। बालकृष्णाय नमः। मध्ये मध्ये स्वादादुकं समर्पयामि। ॐ बालकृष्णाय नमः। मृतापिता नमसि। ॐ बालकृष्णाय नमः। हस्तप्रक्षालनार्थं जलं समर्पयामि। ॐ बालकृष्णाय नमः। पादप्रक्षालनार्थं जलं समर्पयामि। ॐ श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। पुनराचमनीयार्थं जलं समर्पयामि। बलिं हरामि। ॐ नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षं श्रीष्णौद्यो समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशश्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागुम् अकल्पयन्। श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। ऊगीफलताम्बूलं निवेदयामि। हिरण्यपात्रं मधोः पूर्वं ददाति मधव्यो सानीति एकदा ब्रह्मणा उपहरति एकदेवः यजमानस् आयुस्तेजो ददाति। Om. We'll do the arati now. Om Vedahanetam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasastu Pare Sarvani Rupani Vichitya Dhiraha Namani Krutva Vivadanyadaste. Shri Balakrishnaaya Namaha. Vedokta Mangala Nirajanam Darshayami. ध्याता पुरस्ताद्यमुदा जहार शक्रप्र विद्वान् प्रतिशस्ततः तमेवं विद्वान् अमृतहिः भवति नान्यः पन्था अयनाय विद्यते। ॐ यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकं महिमानः सचन्ते। ॐ श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। प्रदक्षिण नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि। ॐ देवकी नंदनाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो कृष्णः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ श्री बालकृष्णाय नमः। मनोरथान् प्रार्थयामि। ॐ मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन यत्र पूजति मया देवा परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। So towards the end, you can all come and offer one flower to Krishna, and then you can swing the jhula. Then you can go for your prasada at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivram and Narita, for this wonderful ambience you have created with the puja ceremony. Now, the first act would be a singing performance and would be performed by Isha Singh. Isha is in 7th grade, starting in Plain Middle School in Carmel, Indiana. She will begin with invocation of Saraswati Devi with the shlok Ya Kundendu, followed by a Krishna Bhagwan Git Maru Pranam Bhate Bihari. And the interpretation is, my respects to Bhate Bihari, who is Lord Krishna, who has a crown of peacock feathers, a tilak mark on the forehead, and lots of hair hanging over his earring hooks. With his sweet lips, he holds and plays the flute and playfully entices his dear Radha. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause for Isha Singh.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्ड मण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती सरस्वती भगवती भारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी भारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी भारो प्रणाम मोर मुकुट माथा तिलक विराजा मोर मुकुट माथा तिलक विराजा कुंडल अलंकारी जी कुंडल अलंकारी जी भारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी भारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी भारो प्रणाम अधर मधुर धर बंसी बजावा अधर मधुर धर बंसी बजावा रिझिरि झावा रजनारी जी रिझिरि झावा रजनारी जी हारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी हारो प्रणाम या जब देखा मोया वीर्या या जब देखा मोया वीर्या मोहन गिरिवरधारी मोहन गिरिवरधारी जी हारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी हारो प्रणाम बाके निहारी जी हारो प्रणाम प्रणाम
Thank you so much, Isha, for the wonderful melodious performance. Up next is a demonstration of a classical dance form called Bharatanatyam, a very, very specialized and difficult form of dance. It is a preeminent Indian classical dance form, presumably the oldest classical dance heritage of India, and is regarded as mother of many other Indian classical dance forms. This amazing act will be performed by Kumari Nitya Sundari and Kumari Nitya Murthy, who are the students of Nritya Bharati Institute of Dance in Carmel, Indiana. Nitya Sundari is in 11th grade, studying in Carmel High School, and Nitya Murthy is in 9th grade, a freshman in Fishers High School. They are both disciples of Guru Srimati Mangalanand. Srimati Mangalanand hails from the rich lineage of the pioneer gurus of the Vallabhur style. She is the senior disciple of eminent Guru Srimati Padmini Ramachandran, Guru B. Bhanumati, and Guru Nitya Kalyani Vaidyanathan. She is the artistic director of Nritya Bharati, where she trains young professional talents and also propagates this rich form of art through her performances in India, US, UK, and conducts several workshops and lecture demonstrations. She is the proud presenter of Rangashankara, the Indian Classical Dance and Music Festival in Carmel. This dance performance is specially choreographed by Guru Mangalanand for this Janmashtami celebration and for the celebration we are having due to the presence of Swamiji. The title track to which they will be performing is called Narayana Hari Govinda, a kriti in praise of Narayana, with Lord Vishnu, where the poet compares Lord Vishnu with his contrast incarnation of Govinda, with Lord Krishna. The composer praises the protector of the world who peacefully lays down on the Sheshanaga, the majestic serpent. He talks about Tripura Samhara, which is the destruction of three mystical cities. He praises the great virtues of the two avatars, Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. This is a famous composition of saint poet Sri Purandara Dasa in Ragam Simhendra Madhyamam, set to Aditalam. These young dancers have been working diligently for the past 2 months, so to render this Nitya Seva and seek blessings of Lord Krishna, Swamiji, and all the elders here. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Kumari Nitya Sundari and Kumari Nitya Murthy.
नारायण हरे गोविंद नारायण हरे गोविंद नारायण हरे गोविंद नारायण हरे गोविंद नारायण हरि गोविंद नारायण हरि गोविंद नारायण हरि गोविंद जय जय परमानंद नारायण हरि गोविंद जय जय परमानंद नारायण हरि गोविंद नारायण हरि गोविंद त्रिपुर संहारक विपरीत रूप त्रिपुर संहारक विपरीत रूप विपुल कली अवतार त्रिपुर संहारक विपरीत रूप विपुल कली अवतार दास दास श्री पुरंदर विठल दास दास श्री पुरंदर विठल शेष शयन सर्वेशा दास दास श्री पुरंदर विठल शेष शयन सर्वेशा नारायण हरि गोविंद जय जय Narayana Hari Govinda Govinda Govinda
Wow. So, thank you so much, Nitya Sundari and Nitya Murthy, for this speechless performance. And they say technical difficulties is a prerequisite for a successful program. So yes, I guess we're on the right track. Anyways, and now get ready to walk through a spiritual journey by none other than Swami Sarwapriyanand. Just giving an idea on how famous his lectures are. If you type the word Swami in Google, the first name appears is Swami Sarwapriyanand. Swami Sarwapriyanand has been appointed as minister and spiritual leader of the Vedanta Society of New York in January 2017. Prior to this, he served as an assistant minister of the Vedanta Society of Southern California for 13 months, beginning on 3rd December 2015. Swamiji joined the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission in 1994 and received sannyas in 2004. Before that, Swamiji served as an Acharya of the Monastic Probationers Training Center at Vellore Mutt, India. He served the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission in various capacities, including being the Vice Principal of the Deoghar Vidyapith Higher Secondary School, Principal of the Sikshana Mandir Teacher Education College at Vellore Mutt, and the first Registrar of the Vivekananda University at Vellore Mutt. It is truly a blessing and honor that we have him here on this holy day. So without further ado, please welcome Swami Sarwapriyanand.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaskaram, good evening, everybody. We are really, I was so happy to see the wonderful puja which was conducted. The first time I've seen it being done that way, but all the important components were present. So it was a really a very good puja and a demonstration of what goes on in a puja. And then the beautiful bhajan and the wonderful Bharatanatyam performance. It really enriched this whole evening. It's a wonderful way to observe Janmashtami. Now, when they asked what I would like to speak about, I said, let's keep it general, the message of the Bhagavad Gita. Then I can think about it and decide upon something. So instead of giving a general talk on the Bhagavad Gita, I decided to narrow it down to one specific portion. A very interesting, a very profound part of the Bhagavad Gita. You know, the Bhagavad Gita, the context that Arjuna, the disciple, asks questions to Sri Krishna on the eve of the great Mahabharata war. And then Sri Krishna replies to those questions, teaches Arjuna Vedanta, the philosophy of Vedanta, and its practical implications. So Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna's teaching, is perhaps the single most important book associated with Hinduism. I remember once I was teaching basics of Hinduism to a group of kids in India, and when I mentioned that the Vedas are the foundational texts of Hinduism, one little boy asked, Christians read the Bible, Muslims read the Quran, but if the Vedas are our central text, our foundational text, but we don't read it. Very few people read it. In fact, except a few scholars, most Hindus do not read the Vedas. So I said to them that you study the Gita, and they did. The kids there, they used to every day read a little bit of the Gita. So I said to them, if you actually study the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of the Vedas, the Vedanta, the essence of the teachings of the Vedanta, the essence of the Upanishads is already there in the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, if there's one book you need to study to understand Hinduism, it would be the Bhagavad Gita. And in this Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters. In the 13th chapter, which is what I'm going to talk about today, it's a very profound part of the Bhagavad Gita. It's called Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. The yoga, the teaching dealing with the knower of the field. I know this is engineer, there's nothing to do with that. Field just means, we'll see what it means, but basically it means this entire universe, and it means specifically this body. And the knower of the field means you or I. And Sri Krishna teaches the essence, the deepest, most profound teachings of Vedanta are contained in this chapter. And in fact, at the very beginning of this chapter, the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, is also interesting for one other reason. Bhagavad Gita, we know there are 700 verses. But in some editions of the Bhagavad Gita, you will see one verse is missing. Some have one verse less. And this is the 13th chapter. In some editions of the Bhagavad Gita, you will see it begins with a question by Arjuna. He asks Sri Krishna, I would like to know what is Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the knower of the field and the field, what is Prakriti and Purusha, consciousness and nature, what is to be known, and what is knowledge. All these things I would like to know. Jnanam, Gnanam, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Prakriti, Purusha, Etad Veditum Ichchami. In some editions, the question is missing. The chapter starts straight away with the teachings of Krishna. That's one peculiarity of this chapter. The first two verses, if you leave out Arjuna's question, Sri Krishna's answer, the first two verses are the most important, and among the most important in the whole Bhagavad Gita. And that's what we shall see this evening. I'll speak for a while and talk about what Krishna said and what it means, the implications for our lives. And then we'll open it up for questions, a little bit of Q&A. Okay. Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate. Etadyo veti kshetragyam tan prahu tadvidaha. O Arjuna, this body, your body, my body, this body is called the field. And the one who knows or experiences the body from within, which means it's you or I, that one is called the knower of the field by those who are experts in this. So, two things he mentions, the field and its knower. Very beautifully done. The beginning, the fundamental step you take in Advaita Vedanta, in Vedanta, is Atma Anatma Viveka, the distinction between the self and the other, between yourself and what is not yourself. You see, the whole problem in Advaita Vedanta, the way it is seen is, our whole problem is, we do not know what we are or who we really are, and what we are not, we have taken that to be ourselves. And then the whole problem of samsara starts. What have we taken to be ourselves? This body. This body. Just last week, I was on a flight from Nova Scotia to Toronto, and next seat, there was this young mother sitting with her baby, a little baby girl who was 17 months old. Her name was Victoria. And I think she was fascinated with this color or something. She kept looking at me like this. And her mother would point out different things, look, that's a cloud. And she would look and she would try to point it out to me to see the cloud. That's a plane. This is a cookie. And she had a little soft toy, a bear, and said, this is Mr. Bear. And Victoria would delightfully point that out to me. And then her mother showed her a picture on her mobile phone, Victoria's picture, the baby's picture on the mobile phone, and asked, who is this? And Victoria, you won't believe it, she turned 17 months old. She turned proudly to me with a big smile and big eyes and said, and didn't say, she just turned to me and did this. Hi, I am that one. Now imagine how interesting it is. Straight away, when the body is pointed out, what do I say? I. I don't say it's the body. I say it's I. Point this out, cloth. Point this out, microphone. But point this out, I'll say it's me. It's I. It's automatic with us. It is unthinking with us. So Sri Krishna, when he starts distinguishing, discerning the self from the not self, you from not you, he starts with the body. Obviously, this universe is there. This entire universe is in front of us. This hall and this beautiful university outside, the sky and the garden and all of that. It's all there. We never make a mistake about that. About objects in the world, we never mistake it that I am that. I never say I am the microphone. I never say I am this hall. You think I'm crazy or something. Even my clothes, I don't say I am the shirt. If you're wearing glasses, you don't say I am the glasses. But the moment it comes to the skin and whatever is inside it, automatically we say, I am this. Or sometimes we say, this is me. This is I. Or sometimes we say, this is my body. The body is not feeling too good today, or I'm not physically so well today, or something like that we say. Either we say, I am this, or we say, this is my body. I, or this is mine. Aham idam mame idam in Sanskrit. I am this, or this is mine. So our misidentification, according to Krishna, begins with this body. Begins with the body. And that's why he starts with the body. Actually, the entire universe can be called the field. But because we do not identify ourselves with anything out there, we start our identification with this body of flesh and blood. He starts with that. And he says, this body is called the field, and the one who knows it from within is called the knower of the field. Kshetra, Kshetragya. Kshetra means field and Kshetragya means knower of the field. What is he trying to tell us? He is giving us the key, the key to unlock this mystery of what we truly are. How do you do that? The key, what is that key? The key is this. Follow this carefully. It's a very interesting experiment we could try right now. Whatever you can think of, whatever we can experience as this, you are not that. Whatever you can objectify as this, then it is an object to you, it's not the subject. Remember, in all our experiences, there are two things, subject and object. In all our experiences, right now, we are experiencing. You're looking at me, listening to me, I'm looking at you, we are experiencing. There is subject and object. There is the subject and there is this object. And we always think we are the subject, we cannot be the object, which is correct. You are the Atma, never the Anatma, the self, never the not self. And yet, we take certain objects to be the subject. So, Sri Krishna says, in your own experience, notice what you call this, whatever can be called this, idam. Now, that is not you. Now start with that. Take a look. This word, this hall, yeah, it's not me. I know, it's clearly not me. It's something separate from me. But then this shirt, no, that's also not me. This body, can I call the body this? Yes, I can. This body, I can see it. I can touch it. If you're hungry and your tummy is rumbling, you can hear it. If it's very hot and sweaty, you can unfortunately even smell it. So this body is an object to all your senses. It's an object to all our senses. We can call it this body. And therefore Krishna says, you are not it. It's an object to you. You are aware of it. You are aware of it. You are the awareness which is aware of the body. The subject and object are different. The knower of the field and the field are two different things. By what principle? By the principle that I can objectify it. It's a thing. Just like this is a thing, the body is also a thing. Yeah, very complex thing which is very responsive to my wishes, but it's still a thing. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiya. You might say, yeah, that's pretty simple. Go on, I get it. I am the conscious being in this body, and the body, I don't say I am this body, but I feel I am embodied. I'm somewhere in there. I'm an embodied being. I'm a consciousness in this body. Then what are you? What is the nature of the consciousness? Are you the mind? Are you the mind? Most of us, educated, sensitive, thinking people, we literally don't think of ourselves as the mass of flesh and blood. We think of ourselves as a person, as a conscious entity, as a mind maybe, within a body, somehow embodied. That's what most of us we think of ourselves as. But use the technique given by Sri Krishna. Can you objectify the mind? Mind itself. Can you say this? Idam. Can you say that? Yes, we can. My mind is depressed today. This depressive thought. My mind is curious. Right now, you're curious. What is this guy going to say? Curious. That's a curiosity. That's a thought. It's a feeling. An impulse in the mind. So you can still objectify it. This feeling of curiosity. This feeling of depression. This memory. This idea. This desire. Remember, all of them, this, coming up in the mind. Very subtle, not a physical thing made of flesh and blood, but still a thought, a feeling. You can still say, idam, this. Notice, none of this is theoretical. You can just experience it right now within ourselves. We can just take a look, introspect, and see that it is so. Even the mind is not I. Why not? Because it is an object to me, the awareness. So this ultimately what Krishna is saying, this non-objective, the pure subject, awareness itself, that is our real nature. And that is coated with mind, thoughts, feelings, emotions. That awareness plus the mind is what we call the person. After all, what is a person? When you look at yourself, when I look at myself within, what do we find in a person? Awareness, definitely. You must be sentient, conscious, aware. And you have certain thoughts, feelings, a particular history, personal narrative. All that is changeable. Part of our memory, part of our intellect, part of our emotional makeup. So this person has two parts, awareness and the mind. Mind is an object. It's not you, the awareness. So you are the unchanging awareness, aware of the changing mind. You are the unchanging awareness with the changing mind, aware of the changing body. See, the body is a series of changes. From babyhood, like the 17-month Victoria, from babyhood to childhood to teenage, how much the body changes. To youth, most of you are young people now, to middle age, to being a senior person. When I came to the United States just a couple of years back, two lessons I learned was, never say fat, say big, large. Never say old, say senior. It's insulting to say old person or fat person. Okay, so fine. You have to say large person or a senior person. So a senior person's body. But I know that I was the one in that baby's body. I was the one who was experienced the child's body, the teenager's and the young person and the senior person's body. I know I'm the same one, though the body changed so much. How can I, the unchanging awareness, that one continuous identity, be the same as this tremendously changing body? Sri Krishna actually uses this as an example in the second chapter. Very famous verses. Yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara. Just as in this body, childhood, youth, and old age come and go, and yet you say, I am the same one. And then he goes on to say, in the same way, this body will die, but you will go on, and so you exist even after the body dies. He goes on. But he gives this example: the body changes, and yet you say, you confidently claim, I am the same one in that tremendously changing body. If the body changes, the mind also changes so much. Tremendous changes. Imagine your mind when you were, let's say 10 years ago, when you were in grade school. Before that, when you were in kindergarten. There is so much difference between you, the graduate student now, and what you thought when you were in kindergarten. Unthinkable. It's like an alien mind. You wouldn't even recognize it. But still, you have to admit, that was my mind. This is my mind. The changing mind, rapidly changing mind, and the unchanging identity behind it. How can they be the same thing? They cannot be the same thing. You are the awareness which experienced that kindergarten kid's mind. You are the same awareness which experienced the school student's mind. You are the same awareness now experiencing the graduate student's mind. So mind is a series of subtle changes, but the awareness is unchanging and continuous. This is what Sri Krishna is telling us. Idam shariram kaunteya. By shariram, he means not only the physical body, he means the subtle body also. When in Vedanta we speak about physical body, subtle body, people begin to think some theory we're talking about. Not theory, we can always relate Vedanta to what you are experiencing right now. Physical body, obviously, we can just see. It's public, everybody can see. You can count a number of people. You're counting the physical body. What's the subtle body? Nothing mystical or mysterious. When we look inside ourselves, right now, we feel thoughts, emotions, feelings, memories. That is the subtle body. In Sanskrit, it's called antakarana, and that's a part of the entire subtle body, the sukshma sharira. So, body, physical body, series of changes. I cannot be identical with the physical body, though I'm associated with it. Mind is the subtle body, another series of changes. And just imagine how fast the mind changes. From morning till now, how many times sleepy, awake, alert, sleepy, and then I had a cup of coffee, alert. Now again, Vedanta lecture, sleepy. How many times happy? How many times not so happy? How many times curious? How many times bored? How many times annoyed? How many times pleased or peaceful? In one day, from the morning till now. So tremendous changes. Mind changes so much. And yet I say I'm the same person who felt sleepy at that time. I'm the same person who feels wide awake now. I'm the same person who is curious. I'm the same person who is bored. So I am the continuing awareness, and the mind changes continuously. This continually changing mind, this continually changing body, I am the awareness, unchanging awareness, experiencing them. I cannot be that. We have already got two reasons to say why you are not the body. Do you know what are the two reasons? I've already mentioned two. Sri Krishna says, idam, object. Is the body an object? Yes. Then you cannot be the body because you are the subject. Is the mind an object? Yes. Because we can experience it as an object. Then you cannot be the mind either, which is tremendous. Because most of us, unreflectively, we identify with the body-mind complex. We identify that I am this body and I am this person. This person with likes and dislikes, this personal history. This is who I am. But Krishna is telling us, you are not that. You are free of it. It comes and goes in your life. Have you seen that early morning a beam of sunlight comes into your room and little motes of dust float around in it? You are like that beam of sunlight, and your thoughts and feelings and emotions and desires and personality are little motes of sunlight floating around, motes of dust floating around in that light. You are not it. The light is not the dust. Similarly, you, the awareness, are not that. There are many methods in Vedanta to show that you are awareness, you are the witness consciousness, Sakshi, Kshetrajna, you are not the physical body or mind. And the techniques are many. Drigdrishya Viveka, the method of the seer and the seen, which Krishna is using. Panchakosha Viveka, that I am not the physical body, I am not the vital body, I am not the mental body, I am not the intellect, I am not the causal body beyond that. Those who have heard Vedanta, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. I am none of them. Why? All of them, they follow that same principle Krishna has given. Idam Shariram, can you call them this object? If you can call them an object, you are not it, you are the subject. This body, yes, Annamaya Kosha. Breathing in and breathing out. Can you objectify the breath? Yes. Obviously you can. The whole of your mindfulness industry depends on that. What do they say? I'm breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in, breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. That's mindfulness meditation. Krishna would say, aha, idam, this in-breath, this out-breath. Therefore, the breath is an object, and you are the awareness which is aware of the breath. You're aware of the breath. Even deeper, thoughts, a good thought, or an impure thought, or a happy thought, or a depressing thought. I'm aware of it. So therefore, it's an object. Understanding, not understanding, that is Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intellect. I'm aware of understanding. I'm trying to work out a math problem, not getting it. I'm aware I'm not getting it. The moment the flash of understanding comes, I'm aware, I got it, I cracked the problem. Intellect, that's the intellect, and I'm aware of it. So what is the one which is aware of the body? What is the one which is aware of the breath? What is the one which is aware of all these thoughts? What is the one which is aware of the intellect? Even aware of deep sleep. Not thinking, but aware of deep sleep, because you can wake up and reflect back. I slept happily, I did not know anything, and so on. So, by the method of Panchakosha Viveka. Another method is Avasthatraya. All these things are in the Upanishads. We are aware of our waking world. This is our waking world. Very soon at night you will fall asleep and you dream. And then you go to deep sleep. And then you wake up again, perhaps. And this waking, it is revealed to you the consciousness. Your dreams are revealed to you the same consciousness. Your deep sleep even. Advaita makes a radical claim. Even deep sleep is actually an experience. It's not absence of experience, it's an experience of absence. Deep sleep. That's revealed to you the same consciousness. This consciousness continues. All of these approaches, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna in just a simple idam shariram kaunteya. This body, O Arjuna, is an object. And you are the knower of that object. You cannot be it. You are the awareness, the sakshi, the witness, the atma, apart from it. At this point, you might say, yeah, that's all very fine. What good does it do? What good? Kim prayojanam in Sanskrit, what's the point of it all? The point is this. All our suffering is because of wrong identification. Body suffers and you cannot prevent it. You need medicine and treatment for it. But I am suffering along with the body. That's because I think I am the body. In the mind, a flash of anger comes. I don't say, I am the witness consciousness of the mind in which a flash of anger has arisen. Now I shall use this objective body to give an objective punch. No, I don't say that. I say, I am mad at you. I'm going to give you a punch. I am identified with anger because I'm identified with the mind, with the thoughts in the mind. This thing, Sri Krishna clearly points out that these problems are because of misidentification. I love Vedanta, I love to go into technicality somehow, but I'll just give a little hint here. The way they teach traditional Vedanta in Nepal is, I'll throw it out there and see what you make of it. You have to do basically 3 things in Vedanta. Let me tell you the Hindi, I'll translate for you afterwards, the way I heard it. Ye teen hi baat hai Vedanta mein. There are only 3 things you do. How do you apply this knowledge? 1, he says, the teacher, I heard it. He said, dharma ko aapas mein mat mila. That means, dharma here means property. Don't mix up properties. Mix up properties means, whatever the property belongs to, put it there. If it's a property of the body, be aware it's a property of the body. If it's a property of the mind, be aware it's a property of the mind. Don't say it's my property. Can you work it out for yourself? I am fat. No, I'm sorry. I am large. I am large. No, the body is large. Still, it has to be dealt with because if there's a health problem, I'll take care of it. But I don't say I am. There's a dent in the car. I don't say I am dented. I say there's a dent in the car. It has to be taken care of. The body has a problem. It has to be taken care of. Psychologically, it has a huge advantage for you. You are at peace. And the thing has to be dealt with. Flash of anger, irritation. I am not irritated. There is irritation and I'm aware of that irritation in the mind. It's a true statement actually. If you even think in this way, a luminous space opens up between you and that property of irritation. Dharma ko dharmi mein, satik dharmi mein rakho. Keep the particular property in the property holder. Property holder, body. Fever in the body. I am not feverish. The body is feverish and I'm aware of the feverish body. Okay. This was the first teaching. Second teaching, dharmi se tadatmya mat karo. Dharmi means property holder. So body has many properties, this body has many properties and the body is the one which holds those properties. Do not be identified with the property holder. First, do not mix up the properties. Wherever the property belongs to, keep it there. Second thing to learn in Vedanta is, do not be identified with the property holder. I am the witness of the body. I am not the body. Third, dharmi और धर्म दोनों अपने आत्मा में अध्यस्त है, कल्पित है, मिथ्या. Both the property and the property holder are both appearances in you, the consciousness. I know it's pretty deep, but we'll come to it later. So 3 points. See, just play with them in your mind and see what sense it makes. Keep the property where it belongs. Don't misplace the properties psychologically. Second, do not be identified with the property holder. Remember, you are the witness of the property holder. What's a property holder? The body is a property holder because it has some properties. The mind is a property holder. It has certain properties. But you are not the mind or the body. You are aware of them. And third, most difficult, all properties and all property holders are just appearances in you, the consciousness. And Advaita holds it's true right now. Anyway, that's a digression into certain chapters are marked with an asterisk that you can safely ignore for the time being. So this is like that. So this is the first teaching of Sri Krishna. You are not the body, you are not the mind. We chant. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. We are of the nature of pure consciousness. Sri Krishna gives us the whole key how to understand that. That I am not the mind, not the body. I am the witness consciousness of the body and mind. At this point, 2 questions arise or should arise. If they have not arisen, I'll raise the questions. What are the 2 questions? One question is, if I'm not the body and mind, but I'm the witness consciousness aware of this body and mind, and through that the world, here are many bodies and presumably many minds. How many witness consciousnesses are there? I am a body, here's the body, mind, and I'm the witness consciousness in the body mind. I am the witness consciousness in body mind. There are many bodies here, and obviously many minds associated with the bodies. How many witness consciousnesses? How many sakshi? How many atmas are there? One question. Second, what about God? Is it kshetra or kshetragya? Witness or witnessed? Atma or anatma? We are talking about religion. You would say, "Arey Janmashtami hai bhai, Krishna ke baare mein kuch batao." This is Janmashtami. So talk about a little bit about Krishna. So where is Krishna in this equation? Is Krishna on the side of the kshetra, the field, or on the side of the kshetragya, the knower? But the field is the body. The field is the mind, and I am, and the knower of the field, I am. Where is Krishna in this? Where is God? If the question will come, where is God in all of this? If you're going to talk about religion, where is the place of God in subject, consciousness and its objects, witness consciousness and the witness, Atma, Anatma, Kshetra, Kshetragya, where is God in all of this? So 2 questions. One, how many Kshetragyas, knowers of the field, how many consciousnesses are there? Is it one or many? And the second one is, in this whole analysis, where is the role of God? Where do you find, so what is God here? Where is Krishna here in the whole thing? In the second verse, after this one, the second verse, Sri Krishna gives the answer, a dramatic answer. In half a verse, he gives a stunning answer. What is the verse? Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Iti kshetra kshetragyo jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. In all these bodies, in all kshetras, know that there is only one witness consciousness. And I am that. Krishna says, know me alone to be the witness consciousness in all bodies, in all minds. There is only one consciousness, not many consciousnesses. Only one consciousness, and I am that consciousness shining through all bodies and minds. So this knowledge of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, no field and knower of the field, is a terminology coined by Krishna. This is the ultimate knowledge. Yatta jnanam matam mama. This is, in my view, is the highest knowledge. The commentators there, they say, what is the meaning of this? This is the same meaning which we read in the Upanishads. Tat tvamasi, that thou art, or aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. That same, the Mahavakya, Krishna is explaining in this way. What did Krishna say here? He makes this tremendous assertion. We are all one reality. Not as bodies. Clearly there are many. You can count. Not even as minds. Clearly there are many. If you take a psychological review here, people will give many kinds of responses to the questions. So many minds. But as consciousness, we are one. And that consciousness is what Vedanta calls, what Krishna calls God. So the one consciousness, our innermost reality, where we are all one reality, that one is called God in Advaita Vedanta, or in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna calls it. Lot of dispute here. By the way, I am explaining all this from the perspective of Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta. There are many schools of Vedanta. There are many commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita. So if you invite a scholar of, or a teacher of Vishishta Dvaita or Dvaita, their explanation will be very different. In fact, the way these things were decided in ancient India, even down to now, not by fighting over this, something called Shastrartha, discussion on a debate on the interpretations. So one funny story is how just a few decades ago, this happened in Bangalore. The dualist school, the Madhva school, they challenged the non-dualist Advaita school over this one sentence. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Know me alone to be the consciousness in all bodies. And they challenged, you come and give your non-dualist interpretation, which I am giving now. That interpretation you give, and we will, the Madhva scholar said, we will give the dualistic interpretation, that God and you are different. And let's have a good debate over it. And so this debate was organized. There was a great Advaita teacher at that time, Swami Kashikananda. He has passed away since. I never met him, but I've read his books. How I knew about it is this. He represented Advaita Vedanta. And somebody else, a great Madhva scholar, represented Dvaita Vedanta. So debate. And there is an umpire. And there are followers on both sides. And they are all sitting there. First half of the first day, the debate went on nicely. It's all, of course, in Sanskrit and very technical. But the two debaters were debating nicely, but the supporters were getting heated. And in the second half, the supporters got so heated that they started throwing chairs at each other on both sides. So the whole debate dissolved in confusion. So they had to give up. So the debate was supposed to go on for 3 days. It did not continue. Now this Advaita scholar, teacher, Kashikanji, he wrote a book later on. He said, I sent a letter to the organization saying, who won? Give me a decision. And I had no response from them. So I decided I have won. And he wrote a book, Advaita Vaijayanti Mala, the book, The Garland of Victory of Advaita. There he has described the debate, of course, from his perspective. So such a controversial, debatable statement. In all these kshetras, in all these bodies, there is one consciousness, and I am that consciousness, Krishna says. So we are all one at that level. This is the essential teaching of Vedanta. Two things. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the changing body and mind, you are the unchanging consciousness. Second, there is only one unchanging consciousness in all bodies and minds. At that level, we are one reality. Now, Swami Vivekananda, he said, my teaching can be put in a few words, that the divinity within us, number one, and the oneness of all existence, number two. Divinity within us and the oneness of all existence. But this is exactly what Krishna has said. What do you mean by it? It sounds cool to say the divinity within us. But what is this divinity within us? Is it the body? Is it the neurons firing? Are there divine thoughts? No. By divinity within us, Sri Krishna is very clear. Swami Vivekananda wants to say the same thing, is that witness consciousness within us. Not subject to birth and death. Not subject to the ups and downs of the mind. The ever-shining light within us is what he calls the divinity within us. One. And the oneness of all existence, which Swami Vivekananda talks about, is this one, that same consciousness is there in all of us. Same awareness. I'm using consciousness, awareness, sentience indiscriminately, because none of them really, correspond to the Sanskrit Chaitanya or Samvit or Chit. Now, what does this mean practically? I'll just say a few words and then bring it to a close. Practically, what does it mean? Practically, it means this. When you are dealing with inside, there is only the divinity, and when you are dealing with people, you are dealing with veritably what religion calls God. Swami Vivekananda used to say, never approach anything except as God. He learned this from his teacher, Sri Ramakrishna, Shiva Jnani Jiva Seva. That means seeing God in all beings, worship them. Your relationship to all beings is seeing the divinity in them and then relating to them in that way. So, Swami Ranganathanandaji was the 13th president of our order. He expressed the significance of all of this in very simple language. He said, what is spirituality? When I close my eyes, I find peace within. What is within? That witness consciousness, which I am. When I open my eyes, my attitude is, what can I do for you? Service. Because I find the same divinity everywhere. What in devotional language would be called my Gopala, which you worship here, not only in the image, but in all beings. My Gopala or my Ramlala or whatever, the divinity which I worship, I find in all living beings. Now, this is what Sri Krishna taught in the Bhagavad Gita also. Having taught all these things, then he said practical implication to Arjuna, that karma yoga, transform your activities in the world into spiritual practice. How do you do that? All activities are the worship of the Lord. Lord in what sense? The consciousness in all beings. So all my activities are the worship of the Lord. You see, like Ranganathanji says, close my eyes, I find peace within. Many people say, Swami, when I close my eyes, no peace, only restlessness. And open my eyes, not what I can do for you, what can I get from you? So no wonder that we don't have peace. We don't have joy. It's what we are thinking is just the opposite of spirituality. Inside there is only divinity, and outside when we deal with people, we are actually literally, in Vedanta you would say you're dealing with none other than God. If that attitude is there, Sri Krishna taught Arjuna, perform all your activities with that attitude. I remember I had a funny experience. I was once traveling in in India, flying from Delhi to Calcutta, and the flight went through Lucknow at night, and I was the only, like the transit passenger, and I was of course dressed like this. In India, like the TSA you have here, in India there's those CISF guys who check you at the airport, so they will make you stand on a box and frisk you. So I was the only passenger, and all these guards were standing. Then one of those guards, CISF security people, a sergeant, mustachioed and big guy, he said to me, Swami ji, kuch bataiye. Give us a talk, lecture. I said, here? No, bataiye na. And then he made me stand on top of that box. And then he called all those other guards. All guys came with women also. They came with guns and all that, standing and listening to me. I thought, what will I say? So I said to him, that gentleman, आप घर में पूजा करते हैं काम में आने से पहले? Do you do any kind of worship before you come to work? He said, yes, Hanuman ji ko phul chadhate hain. I put flowers at the feet of Lord Hanuman. And so I come here, remember, it's UP. So I said, what you can do is, throughout the day, as people are filing past in front of you, do your job firmly, politely, efficiently. And as you pass one person, let the person go. Mentally put one more flower at the feet of Lord Hanuman. This is my worship to you, my Lord. Think in this way. He was very happy with it. He said, Arey wah, din bhar Hanuman ji ka puja. But this is not a new idea. This is exactly what Sri Krishna told Arjuna. Arjuna, his problem was that I don't want to fight this war. I had come here, he had come there for some worldly purpose. He wanted to take revenge on the Kauravas. The kingdom rightfully belonged to him and his elder brother. He wanted to take back what was rightfully his. Then he thought, why fight a war over these things? I don't want the kingdom. Now he was confused. Clearly it was his duty to punish evil and protect good. And at the same time he felt, I should not do this. I don't want this kingdom and all at the price of killing people. What should I do? And then Krishna teaches him all this heavy Vedanta stuff. And Arjuna is like, very good. I want to realize this, so let me become a Babaji and go to him. I don't want to fight this battle. I told you I don't want to fight. Now Krishna says, no, you have to do this battle, fight this battle. Earlier you were doing it for worldly reasons. You wanted the kingdom, you wanted to take revenge, whatever it was. But now you have to do it for spiritual reasons. Why? The same karma now becomes karma yoga for you. You cannot escape. You think you can escape. Krishna explains in the Gita that your very nature will compel you to do it. You think if you go and sit in the Himalayas, you will not, you will be free of this battle? No, you will not be free. Well, we know what would happen if Arjuna goes and sits in a mountain cave to meditate. I am the Atma, Sakshi. You will think, that rascal Duryodhana, what is he doing now? I should have taught him a lesson when I had the chance. Prakriti, your own nature will compel you. So better to do the work, but do it as karma yoga instead of as worldly karma. Convert your daily action into the worship of God. Is it possible? Actually, it is possible. I have seen it. All our activities which we do, for example, the monks, we have schools, colleges, hospitals. Our philosophy is that we are worshipping God through. Not only through flower, like they did incense and flower and water, but also through education and injections and medicines. In whichever form God comes to you, as a patient, as a student, as a person suffering in the world, in whichever way you can worship, it becomes an act of worship. So that is spiritualizing. The whole of life becomes puja. What puja you saw here, the whole of life becomes puja. And it's a wonderful life. I've actually seen this. Because you're Krishna Janmashtami, let me tell you a little story. I was in the Himalayas at one time, and I was looking for sadhus, monks who are spiritually advanced. So if you go there, as an outsider, you might not get the inside news. But as a monk, if you go there, you know many other things which outsiders might not know. So I was told about different monks who are spiritually advanced. One of them, a Mataji, a nun, a woman, who was a devotee of Krishna, baby Krishna, Gopala Krishna. And a very austere sannyasini. She belonged to that Madhva sect from Karnataka. Her name is Subhadra Mataji. I don't know if she's still alive anyway. She spent more than 10 years in above Gangotri, in a place called Tapovan, which is just an icy waste. So it goes like this in the Himalayas. The higher you live, the more spiritual you are. So I was not satisfied with Haridwar. Those are plains, Uttarkashi. So I went to Gangotri, 10,000 feet. Then higher. So what is higher? I asked about Gomukh, which is 14,000 feet, and above that Tapovan. Then luckily for me, one sadhu warned me, one monk. He said, Mahatma ji, udhar mat jaiye, wahan bachna bhi mushkil hai. Forget meditation. You can't. It's difficult to survive there also. So don't do such foolish things. But this lady, she stayed there for nearly 10 years. And because it's near the Indo-Chinese border, there are army patrols. I asked, how did she get food? So the army patrols would give her some of the food packets. Like that, she stayed in a cave. Later, she said that she got a command from Krishna, the baby Krishna, that you go and serve everybody. So she apparently sees Krishna in everybody and she feeds everybody. So she stays in a little village, used to when I met her. That was a long time ago, 12 years ago. She used to stay in a little village, the last village before Gangotri, which is 26, it's around 9,000 feet high. And I went to meet her. What she does is, anybody who goes there, she will make chapati and sabji and feed you. Her idea is Gopala has come in this form. And some interesting stories I heard. For example, see how converting day-to-day activities into worship. She is worshipping the image of Gopala, evening. Somebody comes and says, Mataji, khilaiye, mother, feed us. She immediately puts the lamp down and goes to the kitchen and makes chapati. And the devotees who were standing there, they said, please finish the arati at least. You can make chapati afterwards. Please finish the arati. Kam se kam arati to khatam kijiye, Mataji. And from the kitchen she says, Kyun Baba, yahi to Gopal ki arati ho rahi hai. I am doing the arati. For her, even secular action has been spiritualized. So she sees no barrier between cooking and worshipping. All of it is worship of Gopala. Another story I heard about her was she had a fever. And at that time, people are not very considerate. Mataji khilaiye. So she gets up and she starts cooking. Somebody asked her, don't you get irritated? People are not considerate about your health and all. And she thought for a moment. See, she's not an escapist. She understands the problems. She said, "Ha, Baba, bahut tarah ke log aate hain, lekin Baba sab Gopal." Yes, my child, many kinds of people come. She's not an escapist. She knows good and bad. She understands the psychology of people. But she says, Baba, everybody is Gopal. What Krishna said philosophically, you're not the body, not the mind, consciousness beyond the mind. She's expressing that in devotional language. Not the personality of the person, but the divinity behind the personality. She's saying, now we'll say she's imagining things. She will say we are imagining things. She actually sees through. And she is a deeper reality that we are aware of. So that is spiritualization of day-to-day activity. I think I can go on, but with this much is enough to go on with. A lot of material for thinking. So thank you very much for having me here. And if you want to have questions, very good. Take care. Thank you. So, how will you ask questions? Can you stand up and ask?
So,
If you take the mic away, I can't answer.
yeah, exactly. So I'd like to request everyone to ask the question without the mic because our clip-on mic is malfunctioning. Like I said, it's a successful program. So,
Okay.
you could ask the question.
Tell us your name and maybe your department and ask the question. Are you yawning or do you want to ask a question? Someone was like stretching nice chest. It's raised hand up. Yes. Tell us your name and ask the question.
So I'm Vidit Shah. I'm doing second year computer science over here, sophomore.
Vidit.
Yeah. So my question is that even after getting all the knowledge about the field and the knower and the known, okay, no, after knowing all this, when we go outside, when we touch fire, it still hurts.
Yes.
Okay, so our mind is not able to accept that reality. So how do we actually make it a practical thing in our life, like living reality, as you said in one of your lectures?
Right. Okay. Question. Vidit is asking, it's all right to say that I am the knower and the body is the field, but if there's a pain in the body, it's not easy to dismiss it. If it hurts, I am in pain. That's what I feel. And it's not easy to say that I am not in pain. That's what you're asking? How to make it a living reality. And you'll be amazed to know this very question is asked to Shankaracharya by his disciple in a text called Upadesha Sahasri. Literally he asks, but it hurts when it burns. So it's the same thing. Now follow this carefully. Not just burning, any kind of pain, you can use this. Body is an object. What do you mean body is an object? You are aware of it. I am aware of it. As Krishna says, you are the consciousness within, which is aware of the body. It's an object. Aware, let's break it down even further. I can see it. I can touch it. It's an object, clear. Thoughts are also objects, because you are aware of them internally. Now when there's a burn and there's a pain in the body, is that pain an object or not? Are you, let me put it this way, are you aware of the pain? You say, of course I am, it's hurting. If it's hurting, if you are aware of it, then it's an object also. It's an object to you, the awareness. Are you following? It will still hurt, but if you think of the pain as an object, you will see a certain psychological space opens up between you and the experience of the pain. You can actually try it. Don't try it with severe things right now. With small things. Try it, a little irritation, a little physical and discomfort. Try to see that it's a thing. Not that it will go away, but its troubling aspect will go down a lot. The more you're aware of it as an object. Even the pain of burning is also an object. Is it possible to really overcome, to have the burning and the pain and yet be undisturbed by it? Is it possible? What do you think? It is possible. Amazingly, yesterday I was reading an article. Most of you are not old enough, even I'm not old enough. This Vietnam War. There was a iconic picture taken by a photographer of a burning Buddhist monk. If you Google burning monk Vietnam, you'll see. Those who are a little older, in the 50s, 60s, they know. It came out in all the newspapers and magazines in those days. One Buddhist monk was protesting against something in Saigon at that time. He poured kerosene, he sat down in meditation, his colleague poured kerosene over him, took a match and it lit himself on fire. But the eyewitness report is amazing. He sat with absolute serenity while the body burned. Not one scream, not one flicker of a muscle on his face in deep, deep meditation. How is that possible to that extent? When you can actually, there's an old Buddhist scripture in Tibetan Buddhism where it says that one can reach such a level by practice of serenity in the mind that a joyous calm can remain even when the one is beaten, even when his bones are broken, even when he's burnt like a lamp. Literally burnt like a lamp. It may seem incredible, but these examples are there. But be careful. The key is what Krishna gave you, but it has to be practiced and carefully. Don't try it immediately. I've got a fever. I don't care. It's an object. There is a funny story. Actually, the background is this. There was a great Swami Turiyananda in our Ramakrishna mission, the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. In his old age, he had many physical problems. He was in Benares. And once there was a boil on his finger which had to be lanced. The surgeon came and said, Swami, I'm going to cut deep, so I'll put some anesthesia. It's going to hurt a lot. And the Swami said, no, you cut. I don't need anesthesia. He said, are you sure? Because it's going to hurt. He said, yes, I'm sure. And they actually performed that operation. There are many eyewitnesses to it. And the Swami, remember, he was not even in meditation. He was calm, smiling, I think talking to other people, and the operation went on. People were amazed. Even the doctor was amazed. But what was amazing is the next day what happened. The doctor came the next day to change the dressing. And so he opened the dressing, was about to clean the wound. Then the Swami shouted in pain, oh, what are you doing? Stop, stop. The doctor was surprised. This is hurting, I know, Swami, but yesterday was much worse. You were calm and relaxed. And now you are shouting. You know what the Swami said? He said, you should tell me. I would take my mind away from it. Which is interesting. You can see, it gives us a clue to what the Swami is doing there. If you're in deep meditation, you don't even feel it. It's like being in anesthesia. That's different. But you are aware of the pain, yet not disturbed by the pain. How is that possible? But again, the funny story is next. What happened was, many years later, another monk, he also had to have one operation. Minor operation. The doctor said, I'm going to cut, but you need a local anesthesia. It will hurt. And the monk said, no, I know. I am the knower of the field. The body is the field. I'm the witness. This is an object. Pain is also an object. I know everything. I will apply it. You cut. Are you sure? And he said in Hindi. I said, karo. So the doctor said, as you say. Then, Pata nahi, Babaji hai, some miracle is there. So he took the knife. The moment the knife cut the skin, the Swami shouted, Hey, stop, look, give me anesthesia, give anesthesia. Then that doctor asked, what happened? Field, knower of the field. And then the Swami said, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. वो साला किताब का बात किताब में रह गया. The book knowledge remains in the book. You give me anesthesia. It is not that easy. Yeah. One is understanding at an intellectual level. That is important. You must understand what's going on there. But then slowly, little by little, practicing it. I told you those three things you now imagine. Keep the property where it belongs. Don't mix it up. Where is the pain? In the body, in the mind, not in I, the awareness. I am aware of it. Don't be identified with the property holder. In Sanskrit, the words are much clearer. Dharma and dharmi. Dharmi means one which has the properties. Don't be identified. Pain is in the body, in the nervous system, and finally in the mind. I am not the body, not the nervous system, not the mind. Idam shariram, this body. Not theory, your very experience shows it. So yes, this is the answer. Questions? Yes, I'll come to you. Please ask the question.
My name is Lavanya. My question is, you said that there is the consciousness awareness.
Yes.
And of course, it helps us to say, okay, this is the one which separates me from suffering.
Yes.
But beyond separating from suffering, is the bliss that is referred to an absence of suffering, or is there something more compared to just absence of
Good question. Is bliss, is there joy in that, or is it just an absence of suffering? Do you see the question? Lavan is asking, in this realization, will there be any positive joy or bliss, ananda? Or is it just dukkha is not there, that much? It's an interesting topic, because if you go back to the ancient philosophies, Buddhism, Jainism, the ancient Hindu philosophies, Nyaya, they all define moksha, nirvana as cessation of suffering. They don't talk about positive ananda at that state. But the Upanishads talk about ananda. Vedanta talks about ananda. And all the bhakti systems talk about ananda. I will not give you a direct answer. Because all right, let me give you the direct answer. It's Purdue University. So you are all smart people. You will work it out. Answer is yes and no. What do you mean yes and what do you mean no? Yes, there is ananda. Not ananda as an anubhava, but ananda as a swarupa. Your very nature as ananda is there. What do I mean by that? Suppose you ask, this atma, it's called existence, consciousness, bliss. So you call it existence. So does the atma exist? The answer will be, the atma is not an existing thing. It is the existence of all things. It's existence itself. You can think of existence as a substance. It is existence itself. Atma is called consciousness. We just said awareness. So is it a particular conscious experience? Thoughts, feelings, emotions, body, these are all conscious experiences. So is the self a conscious experience? No. It is the consciousness underlying all experiences. Similarly, if you say, is it a kind of joy, a particular kind of bliss? Answer is no. But it is the joy underlying all joyful experiences. Another example will make it clear. Have a mirror. When you look in the mirror, what you see in the mirror is your reflected face, not your real face. My real face is here. And what I see there is a reflection of my real face. And it depends a lot on the mirror, the kind of convex mirror, concave mirror, dirty mirror, shining platinum mirror, all different kinds of, very different kinds of reflections will come. But the face is one. Now, those reflections are not my real face. But they have an advantage. What is the advantage? You can see them. The real face cannot be seen. You can only see a reflection of the real face. You can only experience existence, Sat, as an existing thing. You can only experience Chit, Chaitanya, as a conscious event, conscious experience. You can only experience Ananda as a blissful experience. It could be a worldly experience, it could be a highly spiritual experience, but all of them are manifestations of the Ananda which you are. Shankaracharya put it very well, the answer to your question. He says, the entire ocean of bliss even a particle of which, a spray of which, for which all living beings are running around madly, that entire ocean of bliss is within you. Just a little spray, a drop from that is what we are madly running after all our life. And yet the whole thing is within you. I'll leave it at that. You have raised your hand. Please tell us your name and ask the question. I'll come to you next.
Swami, Namaskar. My name is Himanya. And so
You're studying here?
Yeah, I'm studying here. And I've been studying a lot about religions and spirituality. So there's one difference I could come to know, like religions is a lot based on rules. You do this is good. You do this is bad. So there's a differentiation between good and bad, good and evil. But when we come to spirituality, that is kind of blurred. And as you said, we are like away from the mind, and the mind is a different thing, and you are a different thing. So if you are doing something, for example, Swami Vivekananda gave a good example of a butcher who knew a lot of things about Vedanta, but he was still doing his job as a butcher. He was cutting meat, so which would people say is a bad thing to do. But what is the differentiation between good and bad, and my duty over here? And
right. So it's asking a question about ethics and how does it relate to all this Vedanta. By the way, keep track of the time. How much longer should we continue? Ethics is not blurred in spirituality. The ethics which we learn in religion is absolutely foundational for spirituality. So let me put it this way. One can be an ethical person without being particularly spiritual, interested in God or philosophy or anything like that. But still one can be a good person. But one cannot be a spiritual person without being an ethical person. So ethics is foundational for spirituality. So that's the answer I want to give you. That is a preliminary part of religion. Every religion will tell you some good and bad or do's and don'ts. Sri Krishna and the Gita also, it gives long lists of the qualities necessary for becoming enlightened. Without those qualities, one cannot become enlightened. Ethics is foundational. You had a question. Yes, the lady there. There's no mic, so you have to tell us your name and ask the question.
I'm Meda. So you come from Moksha. So I just want to ask you if there is any way to reconcile the differences between what Shankaracharya would regret Moksha as and what Madhvacharya would regret Moksha. They are the same religion, but there are a lot of differences.
Yes.
Still a lot of conflict.
True. So she's asking about the question of moksha. Now, you're right. Hinduism is tremendously diverse. Unthinkably so. So sometimes I give introductory talks on Hinduism to American kids. I'm invited to schools to give talks to where the audience is completely no Indian person is present. So I tell them, how do you imagine the diversity of Hinduism? I say, just imagine all the different churches of Christianity present in the United States, all of them, hundreds and hundreds of churches, all together, plus the Catholic Church, of course, all together into one mega church. Add to that all the varieties of Islam. Add to that all the different sects of Judaism and make one mega Abrahamic religion. So their eyes become bigger and bigger, just thinking about it. Suppose it is one religion with all diversity. It would still be less diverse than Hinduism. So, which is true, really. The way I talk about Hinduism is, suppose you ask any question about Hinduism, the answer is always yes and no. Is God with for? Yes. See? And no. As I talked about it right now. Is God male? Yes. And no. Hinduism, God is worshipped in a variety of female forms and beyond male and female forms. Do Hindus believe in God? Yes. And no. So therefore, in the conception of moksha also, liberation also, there are a variety of understanding. But is there anything common? I'll answer this in that way. What is the fundamental idea about moksha? One common idea about moksha, which is entertained by all Hindus, it would be freedom from suffering. Not just Hindus. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all of them have that idea that going beyond suffering is one characteristic of moksha. Even deeper, we Hindus have this idea about the cycle of birth and death, which is a common idea in Indian civilization. Multiple lives going through Janmashtami chakra. So that one, it's seen as a limitation. One comes out of it in moksha. That Madhvacharya would agree. Madhvacharya would say that in moksha you go to Vaikuntha and remain with Narayana, whose avatar Krishna is. And that staying in Vaikuntha can have different levels. There are different kinds of moksha. You still retain your individuality and you feel the presence of Narayana and you stay in Vaikuntha. So this is the idea of moksha. But common thing is you will not be reborn again. You will not be subject to the sorrows of samsara again. Whereas in Advaita Vedanta, you realize your nature as one unlimited consciousness, and you don't have to come back in a body-mind complex again. So that's, but you see the general, in mathematics, the general case and specific cases are there. So the general case is freedom from cycle of birth and death. But suppose someone says that also I don't believe. All right, freedom from suffering. That would be the most universal general idea of moksha. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have run out of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this wonderful talk. We certainly hope that you would come to our lovely campus again and again and enlighten us with your knowledge and magical presentation. So, actually forgot my script. So next up, I'd like to request Vidit Shah, who would present on the activities of Hindu Yuva Purdue. And following will be some announcements, and Vidit will take it from here. So that was all from my side. Thank you so much. Have a good night and have a great weekend.
So good evening, everyone. I hope everyone has had a good evening today. So we are Hindu Yuva. So in Hindu Yuva, Yuva stands for Youth for Unities, Virtues and Action, where we practice and protect and promote Hinduism through these virtues listed over here. So it's basically a Hindu Yuva organization. We conduct several other activities. These are the weekly activities. We have satsang every Tuesday in Beering Hall. We have Sanskrit classes in mechanical engineering building every Wednesday. We follow a course from Sanskrit Bharati, and we have a professor who teaches us. We have yoga, which we do every Thursday at PGSC, and we also have Vedanta classes every Friday in the physics building. Apart from these, we have bi-weekly discussions on Hindu traditions, and in which we discuss different traditions and know why we follow them. They happen in Beering Hall every Monday. So these are the other festivals and events that we do at Purdue. Basant Panchami, Mahashivratri, Diwali are the different festivals, including other things such as International Yoga Day. We also regularly keep on inviting speakers at campus, such as ranging from professors, professionals, book authors, swamis, sannyasis, who explain and talk about different aspects of Hinduism. We also do a couple of seva activities. So we do winter clothes collection drive annually, where we collect winter clothes from the local people over here, and then we donate them to the local shelter at Lafayette. And we also do Bhagya classes for children at the temple every Sunday. This is another seva activity that we have recently engaged in from the previous semester, and we plan to further engage this semester. So Ekal Vidyalaya is basically a non-profit organization that aims at providing basic education to everyone and every small child in rural India and Nepal. As you can see, over 91,000 schools with over 24 lakh students have been enrolled, and it was also given the Gandhi Peace Prize in 2017 by the President of India. And I think so today we also have a representative of Ekal Vidyalaya over here with us, Mr. Daveji. He's over there. So just like we have Hindu Yuva chapter at Purdue, we also have many other chapters at other universities throughout the country. Especially, I think we have around 30 chapters at other universities, and we have reached around 50 universities through this. We also have retreat camps regularly, where we and other chapters from throughout the country meet and spend some time together. We have fun activities like hiking, boating, trekking, etc. And we also share ideas about events happening at other universities. So these are the pictures of those events. So this is Yuva for Seva. So Seva International conducts many internships through which students participating in these Hindu Yuva chapters are sent to rural parts of different countries, and they serve over there. And these internships are also considered for credit in some universities. So these are the people at our chapter who work with us. So Dr. Amit Verma, he takes our Vedanta classes, and he is also a professor in civil engineering. Dr. Brijesh Srivastav, he is a physics professor, and he also helps in coordinating many of our events and even with the temple. Dr. Dharmendra Saraswat is our faculty advisor, and he is also a professor in agriculture and biological engineering. Dr. Ganesh Subran, he takes our Sanskrit classes, and he is a professor in mechanical engineering. Dr. K. Raghutama, he is also a professor in College of Agriculture, and he takes our yoga classes. Dr. Seema Mattu also helps in coordinating our events, and she is a professor in biological sciences. These are our student officers. Shivram over here is our president. Raise your hand. Tapasri is the treasurer. I am the publicity officer. Vasudevan takes care of travel and logistics. And Akshay is our regional president for India and Kentucky of Hindu Yuva. These are our other coordinators. Janesi takes care of satsang. Adhiraj coordinates with undergrads, and Akash takes care of the Vedanta classes. These are some key awards and recognitions that we have got. We were recognized as the outstanding organization by R at Purdue. We also got a chance to present a poster at World Hindu Congress in 2018. And the thing is that in World Hindu Congress, only 50 posters from all over the world are allowed to make a presentation, and we were one of them. So this is a great recognition for our work. So these are the events that we have this semester. PT activities and bi-weekly discussions, as we said before. Bal Vihar at the temple. We are going to have Ganesh Chaturthi next week on Sunday, next Sunday. We also have speakers on campus which are going to organize, and retreat camps are going to be organized this semester. These are our collaborators and sponsors. So we have collaborated with many outside organizations such as Isha Foundation and other organizations, and even at Purdue we have organized, collaborated with IGRASP and PGSC, etc. So we collaborate with many organizations, and